Do you ever reach goals yet still feel dissatisfied? In life, you're either sprinting toward the next goal or criticizing yourself for not doing more or moving fast enough. The more you achieve, the less it feels like enough. After nearly 20 years coaching senior leaders and high performers in tech, consulting, and investment banking, I learned this: the key to finally feeling satisfied with your achievements isn't about doing less. It's about changing how you define achievement altogether. If you're a perfectionist, overachiever, or just simply hold yourself to impossibly high standards, you probably know this feeling well. You chase the next goal, believing it will finally make you feel secure. Yet the satisfaction when you achieve it never lasts. And while this mindset might drive results for some, for others it doesn't. For some of you, it leads to burnout, paralysis, and procrastination, even strained relationships. I've seen this pattern play out in almost every high performer I've coached over the years. People who look accomplished on paper, yet still feel inadequate, like they're falling short somehow. Most perfectionists live here. You push hard toward a goal, but once you reach it, you immediately discount it or you downplay it. If you don't reach the goal, you punish yourself. And if you avoid it altogether because of procrastination, you feel guilty for not doing more. Everything ultimately leads to dissatisfaction and loops back to self-blame and shame. And the harder you try to fix it through achievement, the worse you will feel. Our social systems built this cycle. Schools, workplaces, and social media have taught you that your output equals your worth and visibility equals value. They reward exhaustion and call it work ethic. In part 1 of this series, we explored why you never feel like you've achieved enough, including the deeper fears and conditioning that keeps you trapped in this cycle. In this video, we'll focus on how to break it. I'll share 5 practical strategies plus 1 mindset shift to help you stop overachieving from fear and start achieving from clarity, courage, and alignment. Most advice says to lower your standards and expectations. I disagree because they're emphasizing the wrong thing. It's not about smaller goals. You need a better relationship with success itself. But before we get strategic or tactical, there's something important to understand. Real change isn't one-dimensional. It doesn't always come from mindset alone, and neither does it always come from action alone. Some people try to change their behavior without changing what drives it. Others understand the psychology behind what drives it perfectly, but never take action. I believe both groups can end up stuck. The truth is, mindset, strategy, and action are a system. Mindset and inner work shape how you see yourself and the world. Your strategy gives you the clarity and the system for making different decisions. And tactics and action is about what you actually do consistently. So you can see that together they all shift how you think, how you plan, and how you act with intention, and ultimately change how you actually live day to day. Behavior change research also shows that lasting change happens when 3 things are present. The first is belief that the new way is even worthwhile. The second is support from your environment and internal or external cues that reinforce that the change is worthwhile. And capability, the sense that you can actually do it. Together, all these things, mindset, conviction, social support, strategy, and action, all play a part in shifting how you think, how you plan, and how you live. That's why I never tell perfectionists that there's only one right place to start. Some people need to start at mindset. Others are in a position to start with action. And some need structure and strategy before the inner work feels safe. Any of these could be the door you enter into first. Nevertheless, the goal is the same: to loosen the grip achievement has on your self-worth. Picture what life could feel like without that constant, unnamed pressure. A life where rest doesn't make you feel behind, and each day ends with a sense of fulfillment instead of self-criticism. If you watched part 1, you'll remember the common thread behind never feeling you've achieved enough is fear. Fear of judgment, fear of rejection, or fear of loss, such as loss of belonging or relevance. Underneath those fears is a deep-seated need for connection and validation. a very basic and human need to feel seen, heard, and that you matter. So the first shift is to change the paradigm that drives you. Fear, your original paradigm, has propelled you to do all you've done so far because it worked for you at one point, but much of it was built on lies you were sold. The alternative is a life where your achievements are propelled by clarity, conviction, and courage instead of fear. A question I have for you is, what would change if clarity, conviction, and courage, not fear, drove your career, business, or relationship choices? Would you choose differently? Tell me in the comments. When your self-value rises and falls with outcomes and achievements, psychologists call it contingent self-worth. Studies show that contingent self-worth predicts chronic anxiety and self-criticism, even in high performers. However, the perspective shift required isn't necessarily to shrink your goals and desired outcomes, but to change what your worth rests on. This includes understanding, believing, and accepting that your self-worth is inherent and stable. It is a constant, a fundamental and indisputable truth, much like the law of gravity. No matter what anyone's opinions are, or what the weather is like that day, if you jump off a wall with nothing beneath you, you will hit the ground. So in the same way, your worth doesn't move with opinions, moods, or achievement outcomes. When worth is steady, achievement becomes expression, not evidence of worth. So how do you make this essential shift? I recommend ongoing work with a coach or therapist, but in the absence of this, you can start here with this simple reflective exercise. Identify and name the emotions you're chasing through achievement. Just pick the most significant one. This will be different for everyone, but some examples could include to feel belonging, or you desire to feel understood or safe. Name the most significant one for you. In my work, it's this hidden chase that's often exhausting people, not the goals themselves. Ask why experiencing this emotion has mattered to you in the past and why it matters so much to you right now. What evidence is there to suggest it should still matter today? Then identify the beliefs that made you think achievement was the only route to getting that feeling. Write the belief plainly. For instance, it could be something like, if I celebrate my achievements, I'll get complacent and be left behind. And that could tie to an emotion of fear of exclusion or abandonment. Then design alternative routes to the same emotion, this time without achievement and without any lies you've believed. If the feeling identified earlier was being understood, where else can you experience that or get that? For instance, could it be through deeper conversations, boundaries, creative expression, or community? Keep these reflections ongoing though, because you don't have to get through all of this at once. What matters most is honesty and not judging yourself for whatever you uncover. When you anchor your worth as an indisputable truth, not in what you produce, you finally get to enjoy your achievements. And this frees you to redefine what an accomplished life looks like for you, and more importantly, what it's for. Redefining an accomplished life is about establishing what matters most to you, governed by your values and principles. You could start by asking, at the end of your life, what do you want to be able to say you gave your best to? How will you know you gave your best? And how can you avoid the regret of, I wish I hadn't worried about what other people thought of me so much? Because research on life satisfaction shows that fulfillment doesn't come from status or accolades, but from living in line with what you truly value. Then you could ask yourself why those things matter to you. Finally, decide how this definition will influence what you say yes and no to in your life. Let it become your personal filter. Every task, every goal or opportunity should earn its place by aligning with the kind of life and legacy you want to build. Redefining success helps you see it beyond material possessions, beyond accolades and other people's opinions. It becomes much more than an ever-moving destination that keeps you striving under permanent pressure and not actually living your life. This redefinition should be done not just for your whole life, but for every task and goal you set for yourself. Before even embarking on them, you must establish how you will define success for that particular task or objective. For perfectionists, this is really a non-negotiable. Once you've expanded your definition of success and achievement, it's time to change how you measure it too. Instead of only counting promotions, salary hikes, and approval from others, consider things like, how do you feel day to day? We all have our ups and downs, of course, but what is the overarching and pervasive feeling that follows most of the time? Then also, what type of thoughts and ideas dominate your thinking each day? How do you spend your free time? Is it in the way you intend? How do your days inspire you towards more of the things you're good at or interested in? For instance, I'm still very early in my YouTube journey. If I measured achievement by subscriber count, I'd be failing. And not only that, I'd feel constantly unhappy and dissatisfied. On that note, please support and subscribe. But in all seriousness, for me, achievement at this stage means three things. First is making one small improvement with each video, and that's measured by how well I identify an opportunity to improve and act on it. Another measure of success for me with my YouTube channel is being as consistent as possible, which I'm measuring by creating systems that help me do that. And then the third is ensuring that my empathy for my clients shapes my content. And that's measured by how intentionally I address problems and support in finding a way forward. This definition lets me celebrate success more often because they generate small wins. And in fact, having said that, the things I would have considered small before now become major actually. And that dopamine from seeing successes more accurately and more frequently fuels motivation, which creates mental space for creativity and problem solving. But take a minute to notice, is your current definition of success connected to who you are and what truly matters to you? Or is it a relic of who you are trying to prove you are? And how are you measuring it? In addition to redefining what an accomplished life and achievements mean to you, understanding and building on your strengths also brings a renewed focus. Rather than staying trapped in the never-ending cycle of chasing satisfaction through accomplishments you've not achieved yet, the emphasis becomes more on whether you're consistently building on your existing capabilities. Your strengths can also be how you execute your version of success without burning out. Instead of asking, what else do I need to do to feel accomplished? Ask, what do I already have? And then what becomes possible if I fully use what I already have and use my strengths? Most perfectionists dramatically underestimate their current capabilities because they're so focused on what's missing and what they're trying to acquire. But there's nothing more powerful than being incredibly familiar with your unique strengths and how to use them. Research from Gallup shows that people who use their top strengths daily are 6 times more engaged in their work and far more resilient under stress. Through my work with strengths assessments in my corporate roles and my private coaching practice, I've observed a pattern. When people double down on what naturally energizes them, they make progress that feels more effortless and sustainable. One of the tools I use identifies your 7 significant strengths that are unique to you. And this always opens up new ideas, new opportunities and solutions for my coachees. So ask yourself, which of my strengths could I double down on to make success feel easier, not harder? Which strength, if I use consistently, would be a success for me? Traditional systems reward deficit fixing because struggle looks like effort, and you've been conditioned to think that struggle and effort equal progress and success. But sustainable excellence comes from amplifying what already works. The third strategy is to redirect your drive from relentless proving toward possibility and joy instead. As Marcel Proust puts it, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. You're training your brain here to come out of narrow thinking driven by fear, panic, and survival to courageous thinking, where you can think expansively and outside of the box. To support clients with this one, I use an adapted version of Stanford's Life Design Lab framework. It's called Odyssey Planning. The purpose of this is to turn the energy that once chased validation into energy that imagines new futures. In the traditional exercise, you map out 3 different 5-year life paths, And I explain it in my video, How AI Forces the Questions You've Been Too Scared to Ask. For overachievers and perfectionists stuck in the never enough cycle, I modify it to help you see what happens when you plan from 3 different beliefs about achievement. Here's how I do it. So plan 1 is your current capabilities path. You're looking at what your life would look like if you decided that right now you have achieved enough, that you've achieved enough qualifications, enough experience, and enough approval. And this frees you up to think about what becomes possible when you fully trust what you already have and maximize your existing strengths without adding a single new credential. When I took one of my clients through this, she realized that her current capabilities path was actually more exciting and fulfilling than her plans to go and get this certification that she thought she needed. So she paused her pursuit of that and embarked on a different priority. And not only did this save her a lot of money, it saved her time and energy that she could now redirect into what she truly wanted. Plan 2 is created from the perspective of impact over traditional achievement. So here you think about, what if you prioritized meaningful contribution and depth of impact instead of chasing more accolades? This plan focuses entirely on how you want to add value to others, whether it be customers, colleagues, communities, family, or friends. And every decision gets filtered through this question: how can I contribute? Rather than, what can I add to my CV? The third plan is called your wake-up call path. This is what happens if you keep believing you've never achieved enough. And I ask clients to map out 5 more years of constant striving, endless qualification acquiring, and perpetual proving. And this often leads to some difficult realizations. People often realize that their wake-up call path leads directly to isolation and burnout, as well as a fractured marriage or, difficult relationships. The insight gained here helps people design other goals that tend to get overlooked, ones built around joy, health, rest, and connection. If you've made it this far, pause for a moment. Everything we've covered so far, redefining success and how you measure it, seeing what you already have, using your strengths and redirecting your drive, all have one primary goal: to pull you out of survival mode achievement. But these final 2 strategies look at habits and environments to stop you from slipping back into that never enough mindset. In part 1, we talked about how perfectionists and overachievers often measure their view of their current success against where they think they should be, a pattern called gap thinking. And I highly recommend a book that I love on this topic. It's called The Gap and the Gain. I'll show it to you here. It's by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. The color match was an accident, by the way. Gap thinking guarantees that you'll never feel like you've achieved enough. To change that, measure your achievements by assessing them against your starting point instead of where you think you should be. This is gain thinking. But understanding the concept isn't enough. You have to live it intentionally through consistent practice. Simple gain practices may sound small, but they literally retrain how your brain encodes progress. Some examples could be, for instance, keeping a done list at the end of each week instead of just keeping a to-do list, or ending every project or task you complete with a quick progress debrief of what worked well before you jump to the next thing, just pausing before you move on to that next goal or task. These gain thinking micro habits build satisfaction and open your eyes to progress. And in my next video, 5 habits to stop feeling behind and see your actual progress, I'm covering some of them in a bit more detail. So subscribe and press the notification button to know when I release it. Everything we've covered so far can unravel if your environment keeps reinforcing the idea that you haven't achieved enough or that you constantly need to prove your worth through accomplishments. That's why rethinking your circle is non-negotiable. These are the voices that anchor you when old patterns try to resurface. So audit who surrounds you, both in life and at work. Who reinforces comparison? Who grounds you in what's real and what matters to you most? And remember, the media you consume is part of that circle too. Does it pull you into comparison and self-criticism? Or does it fuel your sense of purpose and direction? And trust me, we all need to do this audit. If it doesn't, then consider spending less time online and more time in value transfer conversations, the kind where insight and authenticity are exchanged. Like I said, audit your workplace as well, because remember, you spend most of your time there. So if your workplace normalizes overwork or validation seeking, even the best mindset will eventually become compromised. You'll notice that not once in this video have I mentioned that to start feeling like you've achieved enough, you need to throw away all your ambitions and goals together. Because the objective isn't to achieve less, it's to achieve differently from peace, not pressure. To redefine success so that you can recognize it accurately and keep it untouched by other people's judgments and expectations of you. And that includes your own self-criticism too. Watch this video next, but in the meantime, harness, don't hate your high standards so you can live a life of excellence and ease.